The CDC is clarifying its isolation guidelines. If you can, take a rapid test toward the end of your 5-day isolation period.
And if you can't, don't worry. Boston 25 News reporter Wale Aliyu live for us in Dedham tonight. And Wale, this seems really confusing.
Yeah, it is, and we're already seeing some of those frustrating comments on social media. So we took some questions to a local doctor who says the most important thing to remember is the first 5 days. That is when we are most infectious. She says after that, these guidelines simply answer questions about testing. After much criticism for not including testing in its guidelines, the CDC updated recommendations Tuesday.
I would have liked to have seen testing included in it initially, but, you know, they themselves admitted there was testing isn't available.
Now the CDC says if you have access and want to test, use an antigen test around day 5 of isolation. If you test positive, continue to isolate until day 10. If you test negative, you can end isolation but continue to wear a well-fitting mask around others until day 10.
If I'm able to get the test and I test negative and take extra precaution and wear the mask, I think that's appropriate.
It makes me a little nervous. I want it to go away, so if people have it, I'd feel better about them, you know, isolating for a little bit longer. But I think the CDC has our best interest.
The new guidelines do, however, raise the question of why should I test at all if it's not a requirement and I know that I can re-enter society without one?
I worry about that. I even worried about that from the beginning, because if you're an essential worker and you didn't want to be out for too long, right? Might as well not test, might as well not know and not find out. But I am hoping that, you know, we've all been in this for 2 years. We all know that we're all connected, and that the way that any of us get out of this is if all of us decide to do the right thing.
It's the honor system, right? Well, these guidelines also recommend you take an antigen test. I asked Dr. Ashley, why not a PCR test? She says the PCR tests are more accurate, especially in those first 5 days, but they can still say you're positive after those 5 days, even if you're not infectious, and that's not really helping as far as getting out of quarantine. She says the rapid test, the rapid antigen test, will answer the question, are you infectious right now? And that's the only thing you need to know, she says, in order to get out of isolation after those 5 days. For now, that's very latest here in Dedham tonight. Wale Aliyu, Boston 25 News.